Welcome to Couples Becoming Intentional. I'm Carrie.
I am John.
And here at Couples Becoming Intentional, we want to equip you with different tools and resources so that you can live intentional lives with those that you love to leave a legacy that lasts. Hey, you guys. So this week on the podcast, we actually are bringing in a question from one of our listeners, and she asks a question: how did we know each other were, quote unquote, the one? This will be a very fascinating conversation because I think John and I are in alignment on this, that I don't think there is such thing as the one. So I'm going to ask John and then I'm going to answer, and I'm excited to hear. We've never asked each other this question before, so I'm hoping we're in alignment with this. So John, how did you know that I was the one that you were going to spend the rest of your life with?
I heard a whisper from God that she's divine download of, this is the person I want you to marry.
I was going to say, I feel like this is a joke.
I'm kidding. No.
That is definitely not what it was.
Well, I mean.
Or what is even start off with what your philosophy is on that?
Oh, right. I don't think there is a one person out there. I think you can make marriage work with between two people. Even I think it comes from the understanding that or the belief that God has everything orchestrated down to a T, that everything is planned out, that he knows what's going to be. So obviously if God knows what's going to happen, there must be that one person out there that it will work with. The reality is, yeah, possibly God has that. Knows that. The reality is we're humans. We're not God. And as much as we want to play God, which is called sinning, that's what Adam and Eve did, right? They wanted to be God. The reality is we're not God. And so you can make it work with anyone. You will never know if they're the quote unquote the one, because you can never know what God's plan is until it actually happens. And
right.
So
with that in mind,
I don't think Carrie is the one. But also, on the other hand, she is the one, because I am choosing to love her. I am choosing to marry her, to stay married to her until death does us part.
Till death do us part.
That makes no sense.
Till death do us part.
Till death does us apart.
No, do us apart.
Doeth.
Oh gosh.
Death doeth
poth.
Anyways, however, it's conjectured. Yeah, until death, right? And so
just stop the phrase right there. We're just till death.
Anyway, yeah, until death. Because this is who I decided to make vows to say, I will love you. I will always be there for you in sickness or in health, and whatever we didn't do standard vows. So
yes, we rewrote our own vows.
Rewritten our own.
Oh gosh.
Yes, we wrote our own vows. Fun fact.
Oh gosh.
The standard vows that you say at a wedding, this comes from the Common Book of Prayer.
Oh.
That was written in the 1900s.
See, traditional things.
Yep.
So I have a question then. So obviously we stayed together.
We still are together.
6
We've
years
been together. In August.
7 years together. 6 married, which is mind-boggling to us. What made you want to stay and us not break up? I think maybe if we're going to that concept, or what were some key things? So let me back up a little bit. If somebody listening to this is truly asking the question, so the person who asked this is single, so she is genuinely curious, how did you know that this person was someone you wanted to spend the rest of your life with?
I think for me, it really came down to, one core thing and then a couple secondary things. I think I realized how deep of a relationship you had with Jesus. And I knew that was the most important thing. That was what I was always told, is how they relate to, or how their walk in the faith is, will directly impact your marriage. I was also growing up, my dad would say, always look at your future spouse's mother, because then you know how well her looks will stay.
This does not surprise me about your dad.
Yeah. And then I met Deborah Ann, and I'm like,
my mom is very good looking for her age.
yes. Yes, she is. So I'm like, well, she's going to stay pretty for a while. She loves Jesus. I'm game.
And that is a man's perspective.
and the fact that you gave me attention, we were very codependent when we were dating.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Mm-mm. And so I didn't always express my needs. Mm-hmm. And Carrie, because that was me being unhealthy, and then Carrie being unhealthy, she would overstep bounds to fulfill needs that were not expressed.
Correct.
And it was like, I thought that was the best thing ever.
Yes.
Like,
someone reads my mind.
Someone reads my mind and fulfills all the needs I never knew I needed. So.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. I remember one time we were not even dating, we were just friends at this point. And
into the mic, please.
We were just friends at this point, and your mom came up to me and told me that John really needs somebody who's going to take care of him because he can't take care of himself.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And I'm like, I am up to the challenge. Of course. I will mom him. I will take care of him. Diabetes will be under control. John is type 1 diabetic. So
do you know how to take care of my diabetes?
Oh,
Carrie?
Absolutely not. I have zero idea. I pray often when we're on vacation, or if it's just you and I, that you don't have anything happen, because one, we probably don't have a glucagon on us, and two, I don't know how to use it.
There's a step-by-step
instructions on it.
Yeah.
Where do I poke it?
In my butt.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think I poke it in his butt.
It's wherever there's a lot of
fat
tissue.
Sorry. Yeah. You have a tissue-y butt. We all do.
Yes, we all do. That's one giant muscle.
And tissue.
Yeah. When you put it that way, it makes it less attractive.
Yes, it's very true.
It's just a bunch of
tissue.
So, Carrie, how did you know I was the quote-unquote one?
Okay, so to reframe this, how did I know that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with John?
Sure.
I'm like John. I didn't for a really long time. And then it was just like this really weird thing. So I know we haven't done a how did you guys end up story? Because I think we're just going to distribute that throughout each episode and just little pieces into it. But John and I, before we started dating, we were really good friends. We were not interested in each other. John is the same height as me, if not shorter.
I'm slightly taller. I just realized today.
I can't wear high heels.
No.
I had to surrender all of those.
Although you could probably do that now because we're not as shallow as we used to
be.
Oh,
gosh, no. Yeah, I totally would buy heels and just not care anymore. I totally don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore.
Yes. So shallow Carrie, because shallow Carrie said, I would never date John because he's shorter than me. So we just became really good friends. And as someone who grew up in the church, who grew up in the midst of purity culture, and write down your top 10 list of everything you want in a man, and
God will fulfill it.
Yes.
Because you're
honoring God.
I feel it's so double standard of write down your top 10 things, but manifesting, that's too new agey. But that's literally what you're doing.
Yes, it is exactly what it is. Yes. Because if you write it down, then you'll be aware of when you see it, and you'll already believe that it's going to, Anyway, so I had my list, and John is nothing that was on my list shallow wise. I wanted to marry someone who was probably 6 inches taller, brown hair, because I wanted little brown haired children, which we do not have. Nope. Little blondies.
Yes, I am blonde.
Yes, John is blonde. He is not 6 inches taller than me.
Nope.
And it was just like this weird thing. So
What was else on that list? I'm curious now.
now you're curious. I wanted someone who was very muscular and bigger than me because
I am bigger than you.
yes. And I like
to think I've got muscles.
You do.
My muscles.
Having had
I'm no
really
Gaston, though.
I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
Having had bad like relationship with food and just body image, I wanted somebody who was bigger than me, so I felt smaller next to them. This is so cringe having to like think back on all the things. Had to have blue eyes because I wanted little blue-eyed babies. Well, John has blue eyes and our babies have blue eyes, so that worked.
They've got very beautiful eyes.
Very beautiful eyes and a good style. Like someone who was like just stylish and cared about presenting themselves well. Let me tell you guys, when John and I started dating, Deborah Ann bought him a lot of clothes from Old Navy because I couldn't. Do you even own anything from when we started dating? I do. My style has not changed. I don't think you do.
I have a t-shirt from TJ Maxx.
That was when we were married.
Was it? Then no, probably not.
Yeah, I didn't think so because he was skater. It's like a skater style. How would you describe your style when we first started dating? Non-attractive.
It was like
not my type.
Yeah, skater, hipster,
whatever
skater.
that means. Yeah.
I'd go with that.
Flat brim hats.
Yeah,
freaking
skater
Mountain Dew
shoes,
sweatshirt. That was first to go. Cargo shorts.
Open plaid shirts with graphic tee underneath.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Beanie. I had beanies.
Yes. It was bad.
Headbands or what are those called?
Bandanas.
Yes.
Do you feel like you dress better now?
Now I'm a stay-at-home dad, and all I wear is
the same thing you wear for 3 days.
Athletic shorts and a t-shirt.
That is true.
So I don't.
That's true. So we diverged from the subject a little bit. Of one, we dress a lot better than we did back then. Both of us. So those shallow things that I had envisioned my husband being like definitely did not happen. So one of the things that I really loved about John is just his heart for others and just his compassionate heart towards others and wanting to be friends with people and really care for them and love them well. That was something that really stood out to me. And when I looked at the future of what that could look like and I saw him being a dad, I was like, that is exactly, because I always wanted to be a mom. So I was always looking for characteristics of a good father. And that's really one of the ones that I saw. You did love Jesus, not as much as you do now. And I think that has been the biggest blessing.
Do I love Jesus more or less?
I meant you love him more now.
Okay.
Is that, oh my gosh, that is not what I meant to say.
You quantified it, but you didn't say which direction.
Oh, got it.
And so I'm like, I hope it's more.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The John that I met 7 years ago is like night and day difference. I think I am too, which is such a blessing, but like night and day difference between John then versus now, like to the point, and John and I have talked about this, that I had somebody come up to me and ask me like, how is John going to be a spiritual leader of your household? Because I was a lot more outgoing, a little bit more direct, and John is not. And now the roles have kind of reversed a little bit where John is figuring out his voice. He knows what he believes and is confident in that and convicted of it. And it shows. Oh my gosh, don't cry. You can cry. I know my words are so touching to you. And I'm thankful that has been one of the most beautiful things that have really come out of our relationship is watching you grow into the man I always wanted.
Not the shallow things.
I
don't have muscles upon my muscles.
No, and I don't either.
I'm still not 6 inches taller than you.
You want to know something really weird? Not weird, but I was having a conversation with my coworkers and she was saying that one of the pieces of advice that her friend, so my coworker's friend, gives to all of her sons. Okay. So sons, find a woman who is a little fluffy.
A little fluffy.
A little fluffy. And I'm like,
So it has a little bit of fat on them.
yeah, a little fluffy. Okay. And I was like, what? This makes no sense. And my coworker goes, honestly, it's because they probably won't be super concerned with the way that they look and they'll cook really good food for you. And they're not going to be like so obsessed about what other people eat. And they probably have a good heart. And I'm like,
they have more of a character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm a little fluffy. And I love it. I've birthed 2 babies, so
yes,
I love it. And it's just, anyway, that was my little side piece of advice. So ladies, if you're listening, it's okay if you're a little fluffy. And men, find the fluff. That is that is fantastic. So all in all, to say, we got married. We've been married for 6 years.
We did.
We got married.
Oh.
And stop looking at your ring. Of course we're married. And it's been a huge thing. And we daily make the decision that we are each other's person. And we will be with each other till death.
Best friend. Confidant.
Oh, jeez. So there's your question. There's your answer to your question of how did I know that John was the one?
Yes. Thank you.
I chose to.
Yes, it is always a choice. I mean,
yes.
even love is a choice when it comes down to it. And
yeah, because there are plenty of times I did not feel like loving you.
Right.
As with any relationship.
Yeah. And love is never a feeling. It should never come down to a feeling.
Right.
Because, yeah, there will be times that it's just like, you know what? They annoy the crap out of you.
It's very true. Just like your toddlers.
Yeah. And yeah, you got to choose to love them. Say like, you know what? They're not perfect. Neither am I. And
working through it.
Yeah. Work through it. Make it work. Because there are times where love is a really easy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when it comes down to it.
Okay. Ready for rapid fire?
Sure.
Okay, if you could travel one place outside the U.S., where are you going? All expense paid.
Ireland.
Ireland. How come?
That was the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm choosing Italy. I want to eat.
What's in Italy?
I want to eat
what?
Pasta and pizza.
You know, the pizza in Italy is not the same as American pizza, right?
It's thin crust, right?
No.
Oh, what is it?
Well, they don't use tomato sauce.
Oh, what do they use?
It's nothing like American pizza.
So what do they use?
I don't know how to describe it, Carrie. Okay. I'm just saying, like, don't go to Italy expecting American pizza. Or go to Italy expecting American pasta.
I do know that. I know there's no such thing as fettuccine Alfredo in Italy. That is an American dish. I found that out on the TikToks.
Of course. Or for you, the
reels 2 weeks later.
Instagrams.
Yes, because I don't have TikTok. I'm trying to hold out on that one for as long as possible.
I learn a lot of things from TikTok.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and then you send them to me and then we both learn.
That's true.
It is very wonderful. Okay, if you could travel anywhere in the U.S., all expense paid, where are you going?
Hawaii.
Oh, okay. Because?
It'd be like one of the once-in-a-lifetime trips.
And
we have friends there that I would like to see.
That would be really fun to go see them.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's warm. It's a unique place. I feel like anything in the lower 48, like, I could cash flow that. Where, like, Hawaii is going to be a little bit more pricey.
Yeah, I would have to hold back on some trips to do one, which I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Alaska would be, like, my lowest of the low.
Oh, absolutely. I have zero desire to go there.
Because we're not outdoorsy people. And that's, like, everything you do in Alaska.
Correct. I'm with you. I'd choose Hawaii as well. I mean, if it's all expense paid, then duh.
Yeah.
Okay, last rapid fire question. What is your favorite meal that I make? I cook, he cleans. The long pause because he can't think of any.
No, it's all of, like, if I don't like it, it doesn't get put on, like, the regular cycle of food things. And so, like, I like all of, like, the foods you make. The one that has like the most nostalgia for me is the chicken pesto pasta. Because
yes.
like she made that while we were dating.
I did.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
And the
fascinating.
Houghton apartment.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean,
Easy peasy.
Yeah, and it's so good.
Yeah. Noodles, pesto, Parmesan, diced tomatoes. Boom.
And
Done.
you throw chicken in there sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Throw chicken in there too. Yeah. Chicken pesto pasta.
Gotta get your protein, Carrie.
Yes. So I'm a crock pot chicken.
So what's the favorite meal that I make?
You make no meals. Nachos. That's all you make. Pizza. Every Thursday pizza. And I love it. I also love pizza.
Frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza. Let's not get crazy. My favorite meal that I make is the one pot chicken broccoli rice.
That is
Love,
really good.
love, 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 love. Had it for lunch. It was so good.
Yes.
And keep eating it all day long.
That one is really good.
And we only have it once a month. It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, that will conclude it for today's episode. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Couples Becoming Intentional. As always, if you have a question that you would like us to answer here on the podcast, you can go ahead and send us an email at jcvhouse@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM over on Instagram at Carrie Vaco. We'd love to be able to answer and feature you on here on the podcast. And as always, if there is somebody in your life who would benefit from this episode, feel free to go ahead and send them the link. And if you love this content, we'd love to be able to hear from you. So go ahead and leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts.
Until next time, we love you and we appreciate you.
See you guys.
Bye.